we're gonna try this again because I got in my head on the last episode. Hey. What up, guys? So I recorded like a whole thing, and then I got insecure, and now I'm gonna do it again. Oh, that was a yawn. Damn. Not gonna lie, all of these planets in retrograde have been doing a number on me, but in such a good, juicy way. I'm gonna be so real. I kind of just want to talk about like how I've been doing, and to me that comes across as, Maddie, stop talking about yourself, but it's not like that. Because also, I don't really think anyone listens to this, and the only person I truly want to listen to this is my future kid. So let's move on. I'm going to be talking about how I've been doing, because I feel like every single week there is something that I am really moving through, and I think that's fantastic. I really do. I think can be exhausting though, and I feel like this past month I've been, honestly, I'm saying it, 2 months, I've been really in a roller coaster, but in such a good way. Like, I am not looking back at these past 2 months and thinking that was crazy, I hated that. There are definitely things I could look back at and possibly spiral on, but I'm not going to, because I've also had such a fun 2 months as well. But it's definitely been a whirlwind. It really has. And I'm about to turn 22 in 2 days. And I just thought, why not do a recap of the past 2 months, because I'm turning 22 in 2 days. That's crazy. I didn't even plan that, to be completely honest. There's something so fun and exciting, and maybe this is just me, but something so fun and exciting and exhausting and possibly frustrating when you have like shit you have to work through. I'm gonna say it, like, it's kind of exciting sometimes because I view it in just a way where it's supposed to happen, right? So I'm going through shit because it's supposed to happen. I full-heartedly believe that. So that's why I'm saying it's fun and exciting, but also so frustrating and liberating, and also painful. You know? And again, like, I really feel like if you tap into your energy, fully immerse yourself into that, you will actually like feel the effects of the moon. And Venus has been in retrograde. I'm sorry, like, I know anytime I feel like anyone hears a retrograde, they immediately just like sigh. They're like, one thing that I got offended by is that I was at a bar one night, and I was talking to a guy, and he's like, "You into that astrology shit?" And I was like, honestly, yeah. What's your birth time? What's your sun, moon, and rising? And he was like, "Oh, you sound like you're from LA. You sound like you're from LA." when I tell you, I am, my level fully like got chopped down to like a 2. Like I felt so small. I'm sorry. I never want to be compared to an LA girl, because, not saying that they're not great, but coming from a guy, I assume that he thinks I'm like a witch. Which, you know what, bitch? If I was, that's honestly fucking cool. Just don't say I'm from LA. And so what if I'm like interested in the stars? What are you interested in? Minecraft? Fucking Call of Duty? Like, if that's what you worship to, like, I got so offended by that, because basically my whole point is that don't say I look like or I feel like I'm from LA, because that's not true. I'm just more optimistic than possibly some people in the city, okay? 2, I really just feel like this Venus retrograde has honestly been such a catalyst for me and in my journey, because it's been so rocky. It has been very rocky. It's been exactly how it was kind of, I don't even know, like, it's different for everyone, but basically, like, with Venus being in retrograde, and don't ask me to explain it, just look it up, okay? Like, actually go to a good astrology website and look it up, because it is a thing. I just don't want to try to explain it, because I will fuck it up, all right? So just trust me. With this Venus being in retrograde, it really does, like, stir the pot in a lot of people's love life, careers, friendships, your own relationship with yourself, and it just really stirs the pot. And I feel like for me, and my personal theme of it is that it's putting a lot of my unhealthy habits that I have been conditioned to light, that I've never really realized when it comes to specifically like romantic relationships, just because that's always been such a pivotal theme in my life. And I feel like these past 2 months, that's been kind of like a huge thing where I'm realizing a lot of habits that are just hurting me. And it's so exhausting and painful. I'm going to be so real. Like, I have cried over men these past 2 months. And normally, I could view it as, Maddie, who are you going after? Like, it's these dudes' faults, you know? But it's different this time, because I normally always blame the boy, the girl, you know? But it's been a lot of more self-reflection, like, okay, why am I crying after a week, after 7 days? Like, don't think about the other person for a second. Really look into yourself. Like, what is this root cause for why you are getting so hurt by whatever, like, the action of this person? Or why are you feeling so deeply rejected when, in hindsight, it is so not, that deep, TBH. Like, it's not that deep, right? Or why am I getting so hurt and taking everything so personal when maybe someone's just, like, not vibing with me? Like, what is the root cause of that, instead of... Hold on. Just text me. You're fine. Make sure it's closed all the way, please. All right. Like, why Like, what? Like, let's go inner instead of just being like, he's a douchebag, goodbye. Or he needs to treat me better. I am perfect. Because there's some truth to that. But also, I've done that over a lot of people. And I haven't really taken time to look within and be like, what am I possibly doing that's harmful? And that's been kind of the common theme from this Venus retrograde. Because boy, am I excited for it to be over. TB motherfucking H. Because, like, not only am I really realizing a lot and I'm growing a lot from it, it's also really fucking painful. Like, it's not the most fun. So I feel like that's been one of my common themes over the past 2 months is I am realizing how personal I'm taking things. Like, I really take it as if I got shot in the chest, you know? Like, what am I doing wrong? How am I, like, I am not worthy. And I just never really realized how I have a clear, like, rejection wound from my childhood. Any feeling of rejection, it's very easy for me to crumble. And that just shows the little self-worth I have for myself, because I'm also, like, I've also realized how much I'm seeking validation from an external person, you know, instead of finding that validation within myself. You know? And back to, like, the taking things personal. One thing I was heavily doing is anytime anyone, like, made a decision, or I'm maybe analyzing their decisions when there's myself involved, I truly forget that, like, I truly just always think they are in some way scheming me, and maybe in some way, like, trying to play a game, because one, that was just like a constant thing in my previous relationships, where it's just game scheming. And I was, again, young at that time, so I fully was just enthralled in that kind of mindset. Whereas as I'm starting to become more aware of just my actions and my habits on stuff, oh, hold on. Hi, baby. Hi. That I'm always just thinking that it's a personal attack, so I'm taking it personally. Like, oh, they're playing fucking games with me. Like, I hate this game. Like, why did they do that? But in reality, every decision every person makes is merely a reflection of them and their mindset and their state. Because also, they have shit at the end of the day. They have their own wounded childhood shit that they are trying, maybe not trying and, like, being actively aware of it, but it's just, that's where it's rooted from. And I'm not trying to excuse any, like, rude behavior from anyone, because that's not, like, an excuse of being like, oh, but my childhood. Yeah, no, but don't fucking, like, do that shit. Just, like, don't, when it starts, like, truly harming a person, then, I mean, we say bye and we, like, cut that off. But if it's in regards to kind of, you know, a gray area of maybe someone you're talking to, or maybe just, like, a weird area with a friend, and you just kind of like don't know how to go about it. And it's not necessarily bad, but it's not necessarily good. You know, everyone has different ways of going about it. Personally, for me, it's a blessing and a curse that I have this trait of myself where I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I might give people few too many chances, but I give people a lot of chances. So when I'm kind of in that uncomfortable place, it's definitely hard to kind of figure out what's worth keeping and what's worth like fully removing. But I also try and remember that the other person on the receiving end is a full human being that is also just trying to figure out what one is their gain, because we all want to, like, I want to choose myself always at the end of the day. So for their gain and what they think at that time is like smart and safe, perhaps, like what's the most safe in this situation, and if that's them becoming like avoidant, then that's just their pattern, or that's something that's rooted in their childhood. And again, it doesn't excuse like bad behavior, but it has helped me like remember that people's decisions, people's actions are merely a reflection of them, because at the end of the day, it is most likely not from your doing. Especially when you are so, like, you're taking things careful, you're aware, you know that you are in your gut doing okay and doing a good thing, and then you're not really getting that in return. It's their action is just merely a reflection of them. So that's something that, going back to just like taking things personal, that is a huge motherfucking thing that I've been constantly reminding myself. Because then it also reminds you to take things slow. Another thing I've kind of like been sitting with is I have always like been uncomfortable by the feeling of discomfort, like feeling like I am in a confusing like area of life, or I feel like I'm not regulated. Those feelings of discomfort, I have always like tried to fix immediately. Always, always, always. Because I'd rather be feeling good than feeling bad. But a huge thing that I even wrote it on a sticky note, put it on my wall, and I see it every day, but is to sit and feel in the discomfort. Like, it's so important to feel that discomfort that you're feeling, that gray area of confusion where it's like, I don't know where this is going to go. I'm going to be wise about it in my actions. You know, I'm not going to, I more so want to dance in the discomfort instead of be swallowed by the discomfort, because I think there's two ways it could go, where you know you're just in a confusing period and you kind of use it as a disadvantage by maybe sourcing to other external like unhealthy stuff, you know, where it just like really makes it worse from your doing. And then there's the other end where you're dancing in the discomfort, where it's like, you know, you're feeling off, but you are just kind of trusting that off feeling that it's gonna get you somewhere good. And there's like two different ends of the spectrum, right? And for me, I would like to stay on the dancing in the discomfort end, and But it's hard though, because I want to immediately like alleviate it. Like, oh, I'm talking to this person, for example, and it's just in a weird area. It's in a weird, confusing gray area. I don't like it, you know? So my first reaction would be to be like, all right, well, this is not going to work out, so now I have to kind of tell myself, just leave, it's not worth it, you deserve better, or, if it was this easy, it wouldn't be as confusing. And I understand like those reasonings, but again, there's so many exceptions to so many different scenarios. So that would be like my quick fix, being like, okay, well, I have to not deal with this. Like, clearly this discomfort is a sign where I have to possibly leave the situation and, give up on it. Whereas I think for me, and I think for everyone, like, dancing in that discomfort and feeling it, but not letting it, using it to your advantage, right? Where you're actually giving trust to the uncomfortable feeling. You're giving trust in the fact that it is weird right now and it is possibly painful, but use it to your advantage, because you know that if you have discomfort, you're going to have comfort again. And there will be like a point where you get to the other end, or you just get to a new place and you're like, that's the reason why I should have stayed in that confusion gray area, right? And I'm kind of in that dilemma as well, where I don't really, like, I'm dancing in the discomfort, but also I'm like, I've been dancing for a long time. Like, it kind of feels useless. And I'm trying to balance where it's like, all right, is it something I need to stay for and kind of have a healthy amount of hope? Or is it something I actually need to kind of step away from? And this discomfort is not really a place I want to be. I'm definitely in that kind of dilemma right now. But I think, I'm going to be honest, it's my gut, my intuition is telling me that the reason, like, I'm definitely trying to find an excuse to kind of get out of this weird discomfort place that I'm feeling. Like, I feel like I'm trying to find an excuse to be like, all right, I'm going to give up on this certain thing. But yeah, so it's like sitting and feeling in the discomfort. Dancing in the discomfort, I honestly really like that saying, because it's showing that you are willingly choosing to, like, be in this weird kind of place, because it's only going to get you to a better place. Not even better, but like a comfort place. Sit and dance in the discomfort. There's this theory, something else that I wanted to share that I've been like thinking about the past 2 months, is I saw this on TikTok. It's called the slippery fish theory, and I wrote it down on a notepad or on a sticky note because I liked it, and I feel like this might help someone. But anything that is not meant for you right now will feel like a slippery fish you're trying to hold on to. What else does it say? And it feels like you are overexerting amount of effort to keep it. I loved that because it was so pivotal for me, because I'm like, the amount of slippery fish that I've tried to hold in my hand when it is just clearly not gonna happen is crazy. Like, and that's kind of where the attachment comes into play, because it's like we just don't want to let go. But if you feel that something is just not steady, not trustworthy, it would feel like a slippery fish. And that's when you kind of either choose, do you want to, kind of goes back to the discomfort part of it, like, do you want to dance in that discomfort and let go of the idea to attach in it and kind of just feel the weird feelings? Or do you want to try to keep holding on to it and still be in discomfort, but just be in much more pain because you're trying to hold on to it? Does that make sense? I saw it in my brain. But the slippery fish theory, anything that is not meant for you right now will feel like a slippery fish. It's just plain and simple. It's kind of cool how plain and simple life can be, even though it's so complex at the same time. Like, I want to, in my life, like, I want to have people, relationships, hobbies, work, be at a place where it just feels like I can trust the fact that this fish is not gonna fucking have a seizure in my hands. And again, like, it's obviously very extremely difficult to have all of them at once, and that's why life is life, and you just, you're prepared. You have to be prepared for what you're going to be thrown at each day. But that's at least what I desire. Things that don't feel like a fucking slippery fish. Because when it's the right time, it won't. And you can say that about, honestly, anything. Another thing, I feel like manifesting has been a key thing in my life the past 2 months, because I feel like a lot of people view it wrong, manifesting wrong, because they forget about the actual physical feeling of manifesting. They just think like writing it down on a piece of paper, but still not actually fully feeling what it would feel like to have that thing you are manifesting, is gonna work, right? Like, this is me becoming anxious when I start picking at my fingers. So, Maddie, calm down. Yeah, so manifesting. Like, it's been more of something that I've been kind of like dipping my toe into in a way where it's not like I'm necessarily like doing spells, like manifesting spells or something, which they do work in a way where it's like it's a good catalyst to help, but it's more of how I would feel with the thing that I'm desiring, right? And it's because it's like our body is an energy field. So if we're just putting things on paper, but internally we feel like we don't deserve that house that we're manifesting, or that we don't deserve that partner that we're manifesting, or we don't deserve that job, the universe, the source, your source, the energy or whatever is not gonna be able to, like, it's vibrationally going off of how you are vibrationally, because we are all energy. Everything's energy. And I know I sound woo-woo to some people, but deal with it. So it's like, it's all in actually how we would feel from that. So if you are at a place where you can buy that house in a couple years, like, you are confident that one day you are going to get that house, then you are going to get that house. Plain and simple. And that's kind of just manifesting, because like it's all in the belief in yourself. Or if you know that you deserve a healthy romantic partnership with someone, and you know that you are not just seeking that for validation for yourself, but you just trust the fact that there's going to be an alignment with someone else one day where you guys are going to be able to see each other on a level, and it's going to be what you desired. It's because you had that confidence in yourself. Because if you then are convinced that like you don't deserve love, it's going to keep happening. That's energetically what you are giving off. And that's something that I've been learning the past couple months with manifesting. It's like saying those affirmations and feeling those affirmations that today is going to be a good day. Miracles are going to happen. Like being so confident in that, and then it does happen. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard because when you say it out loud and you like feel it, sometimes it's really hard to get to a place of feeling it. But trust me, like when you do, and it's a struggle for me honestly daily to like really believe that sometimes. But when you do, like you will actually see the outcome of it. You know? There's been a lot. There has been a lot. But honestly, I'm going to stop it here because I'm kind of tired. But yeah, I feel like the past 2 months have been kind of insightful for me in a lot of ways. And I can't believe I'm turning 22 in 2 days. That's so fun and fresh of me. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got like some sort of something from this. But if no one's told you today, you're honestly the coolest person ever. Everyone is so cool. All right. Toodles. See you later. The way that I'm about to fall asleep right now. Did I just talk myself to sleep? All right. Bye.